Okay, so welcome to Wednesday morning Yin Yoga. Wednesdays is our hump day yoga class, Yin Yoga class, so we focus a lot on the spine. So we're going to focus a little bit more on the spine, but also the digestive system. So we're going to start laying on our backs first. So go ahead and find your way into Shavasana. So just letting your feet fall open, letting your arms rest by your sides, palms up. And just close your eyes and start to tune into your body. No matter where you are right now, right? We come to class to heal, to relax, to bring our bodies back to balance. So let's begin with a nice cleansing breath, just something soft. Breathe in, out through the mouth. Remember that vibration can really help digestion and headaches and things like that, sinuses, throat issues. Let's try it again. Breathe in. Let your breath go to its natural rhythm. And just feel your body resting. Now, if you feel any pressure in your low back, you can place your feet flat, tuck your tail, and then straighten the legs again. That should help. Okay, let's gently rock the chin very slowly, side to side. Just starting to work with the throat, with the throat chakra, and our ability to speak our truth, but also to listen. Put things in perspective, right? This isn't the end of the world with the virus or the election, right? We're still here, we're still okay. Let's bring the head back to center, tuck the chin in, and just relax your arms and legs. So let the arms and legs get heavy, let the fingers curl up, toes relax. Relax your stomach muscles so the breath can travel deeply there. Not intentionally right now, just naturally, eventually, once the body opens up more. Let's start to breathe into the stomach. So very softly, breathe in, stomach relaxes. That's very important. Breathe out, maybe not even contracting today. Just breathing in, pushing the belly towards the sky, and breathing out, just relaxing. That will be easier, I think, on the digestion, but whatever feels good. Good. Starting to wake up the emotional center, right? Letting ourselves experience whatever we're experiencing right now without guilt or shame or trying to stop. I remember the day after election last year, I turned on my radio. I was on my way to teach a class and heard the results and really broke down and started crying in my car. But then I remembered my students and remembered I wanted to be there for them. And so, because I'm sure they were feeling much the same, right? But to allow ourselves to experience emotion, that's what the slower chakras are for, especially the second one we're breathing in and out of today. Now let's breathe in and out of the rib cage, feeling the ribs expand on your inhale and relax on the exhales. Now this is for the digestion, right there in the solar plexus. Let's breathe in and breathe out. So this is us stepping into power, and maybe we feel powerless sometimes, right? And that can cause us agony too. So just be aware of that. Step into your power today. This is the power over you, not over anyone else or anything else. Just knowing that you're doing your best, or you've done your best, and letting it go. Not wallowing in the past, just being present with yourself now. Breathing in, breathing out. Okay, now let's breathe in and out of the chest. Let's feel the chest rise and fall with the inhale and exhale. So opening up the heart center, love and compassion for yourself wherever you are today. Being able to talk to yourself with kindness, gentleness, maybe talking yourself off the ledge sometimes, or just holding yourself in a space where you can express yourself emotionally, reminding yourself it's okay. Let's breathe in to the belly, and then the ribs, and then the chest. Pause, empty chest, empty ribs, empty belly, whatever way feels good. So filling bottom to top slowly, and emptying top to bottom. Belly draws back a little bit if it feels good. Now just a few breaths, and we're going to get right away into our first spinal twist, which is really good for the digestive system, really good for the nervous system. So let's stretch the arms up over the head, point the toes. Just stretch out your belly, maybe a little yawn, and then give the knees a squeeze into the chest, keeping your low back flat. So hug the knees in and gently rock side to side, massaging your lower back. Nice gentle spinal class today. Let's put the hands against the knees and draw circles in one direction. So this is massaging your final bone of your spine. It's called the sacrum. And then turn it in the other direction slowly. So the legs are relaxed, the hands are doing the work. Beautiful. All right, let's pause in the center. Keep the knees up. Stretch your arms out into a T, just straight out on the floor, palms down. Let the knees go over to the right, wherever it feels comfortable. And then flip your palms up. Okay, now if your knees are apart, you can always place a block between the knees so that top leg can relax. Okay, and let's just relax, turning the palms up. And then notice where your neck wants to be here. You can turn your head side to side, whatever feels good. Or maybe just turn your gaze straight up or to the left. So you can hold your left knee with your right hand if that helps you to relax. Just close your eyes, start to tune in to your breath again. So letting your breath just spiral up and down, massaging your spine and all the tissue around it. Feel your ribs on the left side, stretching out your rib muscles, intercostals. And then reaching your left hand towards the left side of the room a little bit. And feeling your chest opening. Okay, let's stay here for a couple more minutes. Just breathing softly in and out. Massaging the digestive tract, massaging the belly. Now we're going to switch sides, so do it nice and slowly. Just bring the left knee up and then the right. Pause in the center, give your knees a squeeze. Oh, it's about 3 minutes. We're taking it easy in between. Good. Now let's open the arms to a T. Let the knees float to the left. Nice and slow, like you're moving underwater. Remember, you're taking care of yourself here today in this class. All right, so again, block between the knees, maybe your left hand on top of your right knee for support, so you can really relax your legs. Feel your shoulder blades coming towards the earth. Try to flatten them out, maybe by looking into the left elbow to bring the right shoulder down. Softly. Right palm up, gaze to the right, maybe reach that way. Do what feels good with your neck. That's good. Soft, steady breaths in and out through the nose. Find where you can breathe, where you have access, and softly breathe into those spaces. Working on the third chakra today. This is the color of the sun. Powerful. This is our power center, personal power, digestion. And it's called the Manipura. It's right in your solar plexus area. The element of the chakra is fire. So in India, they often have what's called a puja, P-U-J-A, usually at sunset every evening in ashrams and around the different cities places where they pray. And a puja is a fire ceremony where they burn off the old and make room for the new. So we can think about that today. A few more breaths. Let's slowly bring it back to center, maybe right knee first, and then the left. And give the knees a little squeeze, feel your lower back rock side to side. Let's put the hands on the knees one more time and draw circles. So this is helping us to be rooted and grounded through the sacrum. We can get out of our heads into our perceptive bodies today, our intuitive bodies. Okay, let's bring the legs up and just point and flex a few times. Do what feels good. Rolling the ankles, maybe feeling your hamstrings stretch, back of the legs. Good. Now hold on behind your legs and gently rock yourself up to seated. And let's just sit tall for a moment. Seated meditation, hands at the heart center, bow your head forward. Really thank yourself for coming here today, for taking time to care of yourself, body, spirit, and mind. It's all connected. We're working on that connection today. So let's work on burning off old energy today through the third chakra. That can be our intention with the past. Let go of the past to move into this moment. Hands to the forehead to touch. Thoughts will be there. They're not who you are. Watch, be the witness to your thinking. Hands to the heart center. So we're going to do a couple bumblebee breaths. So let's bring the hands down. So bumblebee is also going to help with digestion, with the head, if you're not feeling well, or just to open up the third eye, actually. So it's just humming, and we're going to do a few of them. So just continue to go through them one after another. When you run out of breath, begin again. Okay, so let's breathe in. So you might even be able to feel the vibration through your whole body to your fingers and toes. Let that vibration soften your energy. And then we're going to come to our butterfly pose. We're going to bring the bottoms of the feet together. So our first forward fold, bottoms of the feet together. Remember, there's a square between your legs. So in other words, we're not pulling the feet close, right? Just have them away. That's going to give you more space to bend forward. Let your legs relax. And if they're up high, you're also welcome to put blocks underneath your thighs if that helps you to relax more. Okay? We can take a block or two between the legs. Put the elbows there. Just notice where your body stops when you don't have props, right? When you lean into it, and then prop yourself there, wherever your body stops naturally. Okay? We're going to stay here for a few minutes. Let's start to breathe when you're ready, when you feel comfortable. You're looking for your sweet discomfort point where you can breathe, relax, stay still, but you're still feeling a nice little bit of pressure somewhere. Now I feel it in my lower legs, which I often do in outer rotations, my lower outer legs. And then I feel it in upper hips too on the outside a little bit, and then definitely in my lower back. So just notice where you feel it. We'll all feel it in different places. And just continue to breathe, continue to practice self-care. So we're kind of, it depends on how far you're bending forward, but as you begin to bend, we begin to press on the stomach, which is supposed to be, really good for your digestion, and working on the second and third chakra, right, as we come forward. So we can massage the chakra by squeezing it like this, bending forward. We can stretch it like in a back bend, or like we just did a moment ago, twisting. So we're going to focus on the power element today of the third chakra. So the power of open systems is not a property one can own, but a process one opens to. Fun breathing wherever you are. So in the body, the third chakra is located at the solar plexus over the adrenal glands. This is where we get those butterfly feelings when we're nervous, when the third chakra isn't feeling confident and powerful. It's a flighty feeling that brings our energy up instead of down. Yet,
stimulates and awakens us to heightened sensitivity. When we are grounded, this stimulation can be empowering and vitalizing. Without grounding, we may get a flurry of undirected energy. And as the solar plexus implies, this is a fiery solar chakra, bringing us light, warmth, energy, and power. It represents our get up and go, our action, our will, our vitality. It is also called the navel chakra. One of its associates with power comes from the belief that all the major nadis, the psychic currents, originate from the navel. As this is the source point for all prenatal nourishment and energy, it is not surprising that psychic pathways are originally established along these lines. Okay, let's keep breathing, keep working the third chakra, seeing that beautiful yellow waking up from the solar plexus, feel ourselves getting grounded. We have 90 seconds. So with our outer rotation, we're stimulating gallbladder energy down the outsides of the legs where the IT bands are and the TFL muscle. We're working the spinal tissue, the disc between the vertebrae, and all the tissue along the sides of your spine. Just depends on where you're going with this pose today. Remember not to worry about how far you go. Just go into it wherever your body stops naturally, honoring yourself this way. Okay, now we're going to slowly start to come up. Just take your time, lifting your body if you're forward. And then we'll put the feet flat in front of us and just let the knees tip side to side, nice and slow. So yin yoga is the practice of slowing down and letting go. So it's similar to qigong and tai chi as we try to control the movement and move slowly. All right? Now next we're going to take our blocks and put them behind our backs, and we're going to lay back for a 5-minute back bend. So please put your blocks behind you and lay back with a block behind the chest, a block behind the head, arms out to a T, legs extend, or feet together, knees open again. That might be a little much, but do what feels right. Trust your intuition. All right, so this is the 6th direction of the spine, as we've already been into the spinal twists in each side, forward fold, and now back bend, actually 4th direction. We'll get into our side bends for the 5th and 6th a little bit later. All right, so let's continue to breathe here. We typically do this at the end of class in Shavasana, but here we want to breathe. And then if the neck feels like it wants more pressure or your back, you can lower the block under your head to the sideways position. That feels better. Okay, and just stay there, breathe, relax. We just got into our back bend, and we're working spine and digestion, right? We're working 3rd chakra, so solar plexus. So you can keep the block high or put it on its side, just whatever feels good. So opening up the heart center as well, and waking up the lung and heart meridians, especially if you stretch your arms to the sides of the room and just let your arms hang. And this is a 5-minute hold. So once you get into the pose, just close your eyes, and I want you to breathe your Dirga Pranayama. Nice and slow in and out through your nose. So I sold my house yesterday again, but I have high hopes this time. Sounds like the perfect buyer for the house. So very excited about the changes. And it's exciting when we're in change, but it can also be scary, especially with the election. Today is the day after the election when this is being recorded. So that can cause this uneasiness within the system. So we're working on our personal power center today in the third chakra. So in correspondence with fire as combustion, the third chakra rules over metabolism and is responsible for the regulation and distribution of metabolic energy through the body. And this is done through the combustion of matter, food, into energy, action, and heat. The digestive system is, therefore, an important part of this process and a barometer for the health of this center. So let's breathe. Air. The crucial importance of metabolism is air, the element of chakra 4, the heart center. Without air, fire does not burn. Cells do not metabolize. When our breathing is constricted, if we're stressed out, anything like that, right, feeling uneasy, our metabolism is hindered. When we have no room to breathe, our power is limited. And likewise, when we use power without compassion, chakra 4, we risk perpetuating harm and oppression. So let's breathe here, guys. Let's open the heart center. Let's wake up that fire in the third chakra. So nice, steady Dirga breaths, filling belly, ribs, and chest just as much as you can in this position. And breathing out, emptying the opposite top to bottom. Concentrate, meditate on you and your body, your breath. Let the thoughts move to the background. Let your mantra be here, all is well. All is well. Let's put it in perspective. More breaths. So we're going to stretch the arms up and over the head just for 1 more minute. So just see how that feels. And maybe you've already done this. That's okay. Move according to how you feel. Just keep breathing. Just 1 more minute. It's beautiful heart opening back bend. So good for all those upper chakras from the 3rd, 4th, and even the 5th, the throat chakra. So we did our bumblebee breaths earlier to help wake up the 5th chakra. So if we're feeling congested there, bumblebee breath can really work. Good. Sore throats too, anything like that. Good for headaches, sinus issues. Okay, so let's put the feet flat. Feels so good, right? I love this pose. Let's roll off to the right if you can. If not, go to the left. And just tip off onto your right side and just rest, just like we do when we're coming at the end of class. Just stay there for a moment. Feel the earth. That was 5 minutes, same amount of time as our first forward fold. So let's push off the ground, come up. Beautiful. Just acknowledge yourself in seated meditation pose. Moving the shoulders a little bit, closing the eyes. And we're going to do a couple more bumblebee breaths. So we're going to continue to work on the bumblebee energy. The Nada Brahma is what it's called. Nada Brahma, the sound of God. Okay, let's breathe in. So maybe you're feeling things starting to loosen up, energy starting to move. Let's come forward to cats and cows next to open up the spine some more. All right, bringing your blocks forward if there's someplace else. So they're within your reach. Knees are hip distance, hands are flat with your fingers spread out like rays of sunshine. So remember the color of this 3rd chakra is yellow like the sun, golden, powerful. All right, let's breathe in, tail and chin go up. Breathe out, tail and chin go down, and just continue like that, nice and slow and steady. Good, now feel the massaging of your spine. This is like a baby back bend, baby forward fold. So we started with a reclining spinal twist today to really start the digestion and the fire element going. So hopefully your spine feels nice and open at this point. We're going to continue with more spinal twists, forward folds, and back bends for our hump day yoga class, focusing on the spine. So let's bring the right arm up, 2nd spinal twist, right arm behind the left wrist, shoulder down, and the right side of your face or head. So this is our thread the needle. We want to keep the hips right on top of the knees. So you're in control, right? The power center of this 3rd chakra is about you being in control of yourself, of your own energy, your movements, your actions, your will. Okay, so settle here, see what feels good. You need more or less to be at a 5 on a scale of 1 to 10, because that's where we want to work today in every single pose. So if you need more, left arm can go up and behind you. If you need less, use the hand in front of you or maybe a block or something underneath the side of your head. And let's continue to breathe and relax. So fire is the spark of life that ignites will to action. Fire is the spark between Shiva and Shakti. That's the feminine, the female and masculine energy, the power that lies between polarities. Fire in our bodies keeps us warm, active, and energized so that we too may be transformers. Human beings need and give warmth. The power of the third chakra is the power of life, of vitality, and of connection, not the coldness of control and domination. The energy and fire in our bodies reflects our ability to combine with the elements around us, for fire is a process of combination and combustion. So we may be transforming our energy today from something that didn't feel good or healthy or was troubling to power, right? To being in our own strength. And like I said earlier, putting things into perspective. So just a few more breaths. We're going to stay here for 3, an extra minute today. Nice, slow, steady breaths. Okay, good job. Left hand in front of your face. Let's sweep that right arm up. Okay, let's really open up. See how that feels. Keeping that left hand down, keeping the knees down if this feels okay. And then when you're ready, right foot steps back. Stand on your left knee and open up your chest towards the sky. So let your head hang if that feels good, right? Keep breathing. Do what feels good with your arm. That top arm it can fall back or over your head or reach back towards the right foot. Just keep breathing. Good. So getting into our side bodies a little bit. Stretching through the right side by bringing the arm over the ear if that feels okay. We are going to go to gate pose to get into that lateral flexion today, since this is our spine class. Good. Feel the reach, feel the stretch through your waist, rib cage, obliques. Good. Now let's put the right hand on the right hip. Lift the bottom hand, come up to kneeling. Okay, now we're just going to tip to the right like a teapot, right? Just tip over to the right with your right shoulder coming down, left up, right ear down, maybe elbow against the thigh or hand. You could lift the left arm if you like. And you can also curve it around your head and just reach them up. Push the hips forward, breathe. Use that left foot behind you like a kickstand. Good. So as we move and stretch and get the energy moving, it's going to help with the feelings of that third chakra, right? Stepping into our power, getting out of powerless. Improving the digestion. That's that fire element, waking up. Let's put the left hand back down. Lift the right leg if you'd like. See how it feels. Open up like a star. You don't have to. The reason I bend my leg when I have it up sometimes is because I start feeling a cramp. So you might feel that too sometimes in this pose. All right. Now as you come down, big step forward, right foot. Lean into it. We're going to go to baby dragon. Okay. So slide the back knee back, front knee over front ankle. Let the thigh support your chest or your shoulder, maybe a block under the left elbow. All right, let's begin here. You can put a block in front of your back leg if you like. We've been practicing a little bit more, maybe not using the block. It just depends on how you feel. I just don't want you to feel like you have to use the block. It's always a choice. But if you feel that feels tender there, please put a block in front of your back leg right now. You can also wait. All right, let's breathe. Hands can be on the floor, either side of the foot, whatever feels good. So I found out that my friends had bought a 28-foot RV and were taking a trip around the country going to different parks. And I think they had very high expectations of what was possible within 3 weeks, I believe they were traveling. I had heard they were planning on seeing 10 of the parks, and I think they ended up seeing 3. So, but one thing that my friend said when she got back is that it was scary because on some of the hills, you know, the mountains on these parks, their brakes were smoking and on fire, and that they had to take some time to pull over to the side of the road to let their brakes cool off. And this is kind of like this is like burnout, right? This is what we do to ourselves when we push ourselves too hard and we need to back off and take a break and do some yin yoga to cool ourselves. So that's what we're doing today. We're cooling our brakes. We're taking the foot off the brakes, pulling over to the side of the road and taking a nap, right? So that energy of coolness is really good for our system. So if we do feel fired up, right, this practice is really good for that as well. But sounds like they had a good time overall. Now we're going to go down from here. So it might be a good idea to put the block in front of your leg if you need it for the second posture. Putting the blocks on the insides of the front foot, elbows on the block, walk the right foot to the right. I had my doubts knowing that there was going to be 2 couples and a couple dogs in this vehicle. Yeah, it sounds pretty intense. So anyways, let's breathe, concentrate, meditate on our bodies. We're waking up the front of the back hip. This is where the stomach and spleen channels are. So this is also good for our digestion. So fire is radiant, so the third chakra is yang and active. When afraid or feeling powerless, we withdraw and become passive in yin. We hold our movements in check and use one part of ourselves to control another. When we block our own power and expression, we are withdrawn and appear cold and controlled. This control takes energy to maintain, yet it does not produce energy. Eventually, we become depleted. Our natural enthusiasm for activities dwindles, and instead we have to manufacture energy for our projects, reaching for stimulants such as coffee or sweets, which temporarily energize but eventually deplete our vitality. So when we withdraw from life, we become a closed system. Our expression turns itself off, often in anger or criticism, which wears us down further. So fire takes fuel to burn, and in a closed system, the fuel eventually burns up. Only in a dynamic state of interaction with the world can we keep up the momentum and contact that feeds our fire and zest for life. So just knowing in this time, in this country, that you're not alone. It's very important. You're not alone. We're in this together. Keep on breathing. Now we're going to rise up to the high dragon in a few moments, and maybe you want to stay here or go back to baby dragon instead. So I'd like you to crawl back to baby dragon, right hand outside the foot again, and then you can use the thigh to get your blocks under your hands, and then slowly lift up to another back bend. So this time this back bend is on the left, okay? So we'll just be here for about 2.5 more minutes. Lifting the chest, relaxing the shoulders. Remember, we don't want to push down hard through the hands. Let the block in front of your legs support you instead. Right elbow on right knee maybe. Let's keep breathing. So I love this part of the chakra discussion on the third chakra. Stay up high if you can, right? You lean back for more pressure, lean forward for less. But to break the cycle of fear and withdrawal takes a reconnection with the self in a loving and accepting way. That's what we're doing right now. If we are not in touch with the first two chakras, with our body and the ground, our passions and pleasures, we have little fuel for our fire. Desire gives our will enthusiasm and makes it more dynamic. So we have the desire to feel better, to take care of ourselves. That's why we come to class. We're fueling our fire just with that. Let's keep breathing. Just 1 minute left. Now we're going to pull the hips back nice and slow. Take the pressure off. Feel the energy and blood flush through that part of your leg or hip or wherever you were feeling it. And then let's take the right leg back and go to child's pose for a few moments. So sit on your feet, bend forward. Oh, feel the difference between the left and the right hip. So the left hip probably feels more stimulated, more weight. Just notice without judgment. Good. Now we're going to sit on the feet next, just to open up the tops of the feet here and between our two sides. So go ahead, sit on your feet, or maybe place a block between the feet if you'd like. And let's hang out here and breathe. So we are intuitive beings. We're spiritual beings having a human experience. So this intuitive part of ourselves wakes up through the practice. As we listen, we feel things in our body. That's the body communicating with us from an energetic level. Something doesn't feel right, we listen, we take action, right? And that's what this third chakra is about, taking action, taking care of yourself. Now, if you want, you can lean back if you're sitting directly on the feet, let the knees rise up. Keep on breathing wherever you are, doesn't matter how far you go. That's the competitive side of the ego. Remember, comparison is the thief of joy, so just be yourself. Good. Let's come forward, curl the toes under, stretch the bottoms of the feet out. Hands can stay in front of you on the floor. You're always looking for that medium pressure. The 5 on a scale of 1 to 10, that's the first principle of yin. It's called your edge. All right, we're going to come to table and slide the left knee up for swan. Left toes to the right, right knee bends out to the right side of the room. Just letting your left hip come down. Let's get that left leg in this 90-degree angle. Okay, so left knee is exactly in front of left hip, left foot across from left knee. Unless you feel like you're falling to the left, then pull this foot back slightly, and that'll straighten you off. Now make sure the muscles are relaxed before you start folding further into it, but you can if you need more pressure to be at your edge. Use the blocks under your elbows, under your forehead, whatever feels good. Okay? We're going to stay here for about 7 minutes, get a nice stretch in the IT band. So we started with butterfly forward fold.
So we've stretched the IT band just a little bit there. So now we're adding on to this pose, stretching through the side of the leg again, the IT band, the gallbladder meridian channel. Right leg is in an inner rotation. We haven't worked that direction yet. So just take care of yourself, use your props, use your breath. The energy in our bodies is dependent on our ability to connect, to merge, to nourish ourselves from what surrounds us. It is dependent on our comfort with power, with our basic self-confidence. This chakra is also related to self-esteem, which brings strength to our will. When our will is effective, our self-esteem is enhanced. Then we can better direct our lives towards that which we love, that which ignites us, challenges us, renews us. These are all elements that call for integration and development in the third chakra. So breathe that into that sun, into that fire, ignite that fire in the solar plexus. Breathe out, we're burning away the old today, making room for new. If it gets too easy, just go in a little further, letting your body melt into the open space. If it starts tightening up and feels like it's turning to pain, just back out a little. That's called playing your edge. Part of the second principle to be still in the pose. Those are the two reasons to move. Otherwise, remain still if you can. Do your best.
Okay, let's start to rise nice and slow. Come on up. Lean to the left. Bring your both legs out in front. And just see how that feels now. Stretch your legs out. Put your feet flat, windshield wipers when you're ready. Side to side, nice and slow and steady. Okay, reverse table or bridge. Hands and feet flat, lift and squeeze. Drop your head if you'd like. Locking your arms or bridge pose on your back, just simply lifting the hips up, pulling the shoulders under with your arms against the mat. Now, when you're finished, we're going to take our blocks and lay back and put the block underneath the tush and lift the legs straight up in the air for an inversion called Stairway to Heaven. So roll your ankles around up in the air, making circles with the toes pointing and flexing. So this is a good posture on its own, just to do every day for your legs and your veins. You can stay there or let the legs start to melt over your face, maybe lifting the hips and sliding the block up your spine, or using your hands. This is called snail. So you can use your hands on your hips. Just make sure you don't lift your hips too high. You want the back to round and the knees to melt towards the face, just relaxing the legs. I want you to feel a stretch in the back of your heart center. Remember, these chakras along the spine don't just go forward, they go back too. So getting into that third chakra as well. Keep on breathing, doing what's good for you. And when you're done, you can just come back to the block under your hips, legs up, and then place the feet down, keeping the block there. Let's lift the hips, and then we can take the block out and stay in bridge. So catching your hands if you can, pull the shoulders under your back, lift the hips, squeeze your bum to push up. Feet are hip distance, knees hip distance. So you're pushing down and forward into your feet. Chest is lifting. Now when you're ready to exit, move the shoulders, come down, give the knees a squeeze, rock side to side. Nice. Good. Let's lift the legs, rock ourselves to seated. We're going to take a pause, shake out the hands again, roll the shoulders a little bit, and notice how you feel. Try to get still. And let's practice some bumblebee breathing. It's also called Nada Brahma. All right, so we're going to do 3. So when your breath ends, just take another breath in and begin again. Okay, breathe in. Okay, let's begin again. Hands and knees, cats and cows. Starting back at the beginning of that sequence. So blocks back at the top of your mat if you've moved them. And just move your spine around. Remember, you can inhale, tail and chin go up. Exhale, tail and chin go down, or side to side. Looking back at the hip, bringing the shoulder and hip towards each other on either side. Or maybe circles with your ribs, Kundalini style. Beautiful. Okay, left arm's going to go up. And left arm behind the right wrist, palm up, shoulder down. Hips stay over knees, and just relax and breathe. Give yourself a few moments to really acclimate, to see what's happening with the shoulder and the upper back today, and then make your intuitive adjustments. Remember, you can lift your right arm and bring it behind you, or use the right hand in front of you for support. Okay, we're going to be here for 3, so just take your time, relax and breathe. Stretching the shoulder and the upper spine. Through the lens of the chakra system, power results from combining and integrating rather than fighting and dominating. Each chakra level emerges, first of all, from the combination of the levels below it. It is then activated by the descending current of consciousness, which brings understanding to each level. Instead of finding our power through separation, power can come from unity and wholeness. Let's place the right hand in front of the face. Left arm sweeps up this time. And then the left foot steps back. Easy side plank. Feel the stretch. Push your hips forward. Let your head hang and do what feels good with that top arm. Good. Using your right toes behind you like a kickstand. Bring the arm over the ear to get deeper into the waist. I like to have my back toes, the left toes in this side, turned forward so it's kind of a nice horizontal fixture, so I don't have to worry about falling back or forth either. So make sure that back foot is nice and firm. Okay, we're going to put the left hand on the left hip, lift the right hand up, so that back foot's going to help. Okay, now from here we're just going to tip to the left. Right? Left shoulder down, right shoulder up, and then we can lift the right arm or not, just whatever feels right. Okay, let your left ear drop towards the left shoulder if that feels nice. So you're feeling your whole right side stretch. Now rib cage, oblique muscles, gallbladder channel, shoulder if you're bringing your arm up and over. Just keep breathing. Good. Come on back up. Right hand down. Let's lift that left leg. See how that feels. Opening like a star, stretching, pushing your heel back. You can point your toes. I like the heel pushing back. Beautiful. Just opening up. Now when you're ready, come down to table. Left foot steps through the top of the mat. Remember, we're starting with baby dragon. So laying over the front leg, nice and easy, comfortable. Slide the right knee back. And then use the thigh for support for your chest, or maybe just the left shoulder. You could place a block underneath your right elbow, straight up and down. All right, let's begin. It's 2.5 minutes in each pose. So you can use the block in front of your back knee or not right now. What feels good? Maybe you need a little support. Two sides might be different. So let's place the blocks inside the front foot, whatever level feels good. Elbows on the blocks, left foot can step to the left a little bit, making room for your left shoulder. Maybe now that block is necessary. You can adjust it. 2.5 minutes. Let's keep breathing. Slow and steady. In with peace, out with what you don't need. Let it go. Stoking the fire with our breath. One more minute. Do what feels good. Go lower if you have space. Come up higher if it's getting too intense. This is the extension of the hip joint. So as electricity must be directed through wires in order for its power to be utilized, so must our life energy be directed by consciousness before we can make use of it with any true sense of power. Our cells metabolize and produce energy with little or no conscious direction from us. To have power, however, we need to be conscious. We must understand the relationship between things. We must be able to perceive and assimilate new information, to adjust our actions for maximum effort. We must be able to create and imagine events outside of present time and space. We must have knowledge, memory, and reasoning ability. Let's go to baby dragon. Put the blocks under the hands, and then lift the chest up nice and slow and steady into a back bend. So this time, right side, right? The right hip is in a back bend, the right lower back. So just adjust it according to how it feels. Let's stay here for 2.5 again. Let's breathe. Back toes can curl under or point, whatever feels good. Hips are square to the front of the mat. Left elbow can be on the block if that feels good. Just keep breathing, steady, slow breaths. One more minute. And we can lean forward if it gets too intense. Lean back if you need more. Okay, now we're going to pull the hips back nice and slow. Take the pressure off and stay there for a few moments in half splits pose. A few deep breaths and then child's pose when you're ready, just bowing to your beautiful self. Sitting against the feet, whatever feels good, bow forward, knees can be together or apart. Just make sure you're breathing nice and slow. Feeling your back body rise and fall with your breath. Good. Now we're going to come up and slide the left knee up to swan, left knee forward. Right knee. We did the left knee first. Right knee forward. Right toes to the left. Drop the hip down. Bring the left knee up. And line up your right leg this time with that 90-degree angle. So thigh lines up with the side of the mat, shin with the top. Left knee faces to the left, and you can bend into it if you need more pressure. All right, we've got 7 minutes here. Let's keep breathing. Slow, steady breaths in and out through the nose. So you can use your props under your elbows, your forehead. Remember, if you're up high, you can use them straight up and down, right? Blocks are just something there to support you, to help you relax more. But you don't have to use them. Just use them if they make it feel more comfortable. If you feel like you can relax easier using the props. Giving yourself time to acclimate to these, especially these longer postures. So power then is equally dependent on the upper chakras, though not at the expense of our lower ones. As we grow toward a greater understanding of consciousness and the spiritual world, we find that we will indeed evolve our concepts of power. This evolution will come from within each of us, from our core, our roots, and our guts, as well as our visions and creativity and our intelligence. Our future depends on it. Okay, keep on breathing, nice and slow and steady. Relaxing into it. If there's space, go further. Got a couple minutes left. Couple more breaths. Then we're going to rise up. Okay, let's rise slowly. And then lean to your right. Take both legs back out front again. Last time. See how it feels. Move your legs a little. Okay, we'll put the feet flat, windshield wipers. Nice and slow and steady. Reverse table when you're ready, lifting and squeezing. Right, or your bridge pose. Stay as long as you like. And when you're done, come back to your back. Give the knees a squeeze for happy baby, rocking side to side. And then bring the legs up, the feet up. Grab the feet, the ankles behind the knees, pull down. Feel the stretch in your hamstrings. Feel your lower back now. Good. Now let's bring the legs up, roll the feet around, and rock yourself up to seated, shaking your hands out. Roll the shoulders backwards. And close your eyes. We'll do 3 bumblebee breaths. Breathe in. So we're gonna hop into a short frog pose next. So put your blocks at whatever level you'd like them to be in front of your blankets, on top of each other, sideways. Another block at the top of the mat. And we're gonna come down to our elbows, keeping the hips over the knees in our table pose. Slide those knees apart and let the hips melt down between the knees. Okay, we'll just stay here for 3 minutes today. So just a short one. Opening up the inner thighs, the groin. Remember, we started with our butterfly forward fold, so we've gotten a little bit into this tissue so far, and happy baby as well. Let's relax and breathe. You can separate your feet for more pressure. Turning the toes out like a frog. Make sure heels don't go wider than your knees, or you can point your toes towards each other for less pressure on the knees and hips. Okay, so since it's 3 minutes, maybe body takes a little bit more today. Just make sure you're relaxing and breathing. So this is inner rotation, kidney and liver channels, getting into the groin, the root chakra. Feel your body more healthy, stronger now, more grounded, connected to your willpower, to your third chakra. So we're halfway there already. Maybe you want to lower your block since it's a shorter hold. Or even take them out like we've been doing at the end of this pose. Good. So sometimes they consider this a back bend. We will go into our back bends after this though. A lot of spinal work today. Feel your back nice and open. Just 30 more seconds here. Keep breathing. So for some people, this might feel long, especially if you're not used to stretching this area of your body. And for some people, it might feel really easy because you're used to doing longer holds in this pose and you've been doing it for a while. So just go into it wherever it feels good each time you practice, finding that sweet discomfort, just holding it and breathing, and you'll get the benefits. Okay, so let's put the elbows under the shoulders, move the blocks, and slowly lean forward, coming down to your belly. Now we're going to bring the legs together, nice and slow, and then prop yourself up on your elbows. Okay, so we'll get right into our Sphinx pose. So legs together, elbows under shoulders. Let's rock the hips side to side a little bit, if that feels good. Beautiful. This is our Sphinx. You can stay here, or you can plant your hands, lock the legs, squeeze the butt, and lift the elbows off the mat. So compression in the lower back. We work the upper back in our first back bend, the lower back in our high dragons, and then now back into that lumbar spine again. So please do what feels good. And when you're done, go down, rest for a few moments. And then hands under shoulders up to table and back to child's pose. So as you bend forward, taking that back bend out of the lower back, notice how your back feels now. So we're just going to do our regular Shavasana on our backs. Since we've already been in a 5-minute back bend on the blocks, you're always welcome to do that instead. But we can place blocks behind the knees for this final relaxation. It's just a couple minutes of Shavasana. So you could put blocks behind the knees and lay back. Make sure your lower back is flat, arms by your sides, palms up. And let's take a cleansing breath. Inhale. Just let go. Just floating on the waves of your natural breathing. Relax everything. Remember, you're not your thoughts, you're not this body, you're not these situations that you find yourself in. You're so much more than that. You're not these feelings, clothes, car, job. Let those labels fall away here in Shavasana. At the third chakra, force and form combine and evolve each other to higher and more efficient levels. Once the third chakra flame has been lit, the fire is less difficult to maintain. Once the light of understanding has dawned, the path to further understanding is illuminated. When Kundalini rises to this chakra, she makes herself apparent. Here she kindles the fire to destroy ignorance, karmic traps, and physical impurities. It is at this chakra that Kundalini begins to burn. Now let's start to breathe a little bit deeper in and out. Skim the thumbs on your fingers. Notice you're more sensitive. Now give your knees a hug into your chest. Squeeze your knees in. Send your body love. Thank your body for being here today. Lift the legs in the air. Move the blocks if they're in the way and rock yourself to seated. Coming back to where we started with the hands together at the heart center. Bow your head down. Thank yourself for being here, for taking time to ignite your fire today. Now take it out into the world and let's heal each other. Let's take a deep breath in. Give it away. Until we meet again. Namaste. Thanks for being here. Have a beautiful day.